to get to this point. If Rain is going to pose any challenge to Masacuata Tiesa, they're going to do it here. Best of 7 semifinal underway. Trip to the grand finals on the line.
All right, away we go. Lightning starting us off as the first player on the screen with that very, very bright Dominus. And starting us off with a shot is Poncho, barred down and out, but already Masacuata Tiesa threatening.
Now, push through the corner. They've got so much pressure built up immediately off the kickoff. Tiesa is looking for more. Poncho rotates through, centered up. Paco shot, Paco score. Bar down. It's as simple as that with 29 in. We've got our first.
That was the fastest start out of any team that I've seen tonight. Masacuata Tiesa, they had that shot from Poncho that was just off, and then Paco in very similar fashion, bar down, scoring the first. The only difference was that was in, so Rain already up against it here in game one. Reminder, if you didn't pick up on it earlier, best of 7 here on out. This is the semifinals. Top 4 teams remain. All right, Masacuata Tiesa has laid down the gauntlet.
Yeah, and we get to settle in for a bit.
Yes.
You know, long series, hopefully go in the distance. That's a nice touch from Lightning. They could just end up on target on its own, and Paco forced to make a save out there. Never really had too much of doubt, but still let it go for a decent amount of time. You can see the push immediately stopped out, though, and that's going to be so crucial for Vayne to stop these entrances into the zone, because it's what Masacuata Tiesa are so potent on, is getting the early pressure, looking for the first shot as quick as possible. Beautiful passing play, but Night Fang's gone a bit too ahead of the ball. Can't quite connect there, and they're left searching yet again.
Even with that beautiful web of passes through the midfield, it's not enough for Rain to stay in the offensive end. They're back to their back line, rotating as quickly as possible to keep those blue cars out of the back of that orange net. Oh, Night Fang starts something here, just putting pressure on Divicina, takes out Poncho in the blue net, but Foxy couldn't put anything on target, so the demo just a disruptor at this point. Night Fang shot, it's good. We're tied up.
Talk about a disruptor. Chaos in the corner there. Paco can't quite get a hold of it. Lightning runs all the way through, and a nice block on Poncho. That's 2 gone. Tiesa can't find their way through the chaos that ensued. Plenty left here to be played in game one. All square at 1 apiece. You expect Rain to have this fight back in them. Again, this is a Masacuata Tiesa squad who finished 8-0, but nobody else in their group managed to make playoffs, so you start to question what they would come up with when faced with opponents from opposite groups. This is the true test for them. As they continue on in the bracket, they're not going to get free wins.
Good point, and well, the first 2 minutes have been in their favor, I think, possession-wise. Rain has shown us that they can hit back hard, and they might have to if Masacuata Tiesa continue to exert their dominance when it comes to holding on to possession. Here's Divicina into the skies, though Night Fang disrupts in the midst of that play. Making sure it doesn't turn into anything too dangerous. It's the individual element I was talking about earlier. Masacuata Tiesa, they have that advantage there, but it has been shut down so far. Lightning trying to break out, putting that 50, but looks like we're fighting possession here in the midfield.
It's going to be Paco opening things up, though, for Masacuata Tiesa. Divisa's up for it to try and center for the second, but can't find much else. You talk about the individual capabilities for Masacuata Tiesa, and it's hard not to mention Divicina here, who does so much on every opportunity coming into the zone. First touch, second touch, forcing a challenge that'll set up another pass, but everybody's capable of it. Paco launches one here. Now they've got another look. Night Fang demoed, but the clear comes out, so at least they've got it to the corner for the time being. Lightning gets one on Divicina to try and open up some more space, but Night Fang's touch will go well high and well wide of the target, barring the push here for Rain as time continues to tick. Poncho now. Tiesa in the center, looking for the 1-2, and just trying to connect on these opportunities. None so far, so we stay tied.
Through that same corner, Rain not allowing too much to work into their box. Now a bit of a team bump. Well, this could be dangerous. First to it is Divicina, but Night Fang right behind the play. I think that isn't an easy goal for Masacuata Tiesa. Still, they will press. Here comes Divicina. Second touch made. Paco has some control here, going up, falling back down. Gravity of Fickle Mistress taking the play right back into the orange box. But with 60 seconds left, despite the fancy footwork in the Rain Esports end, no goals scored, and again, still tied, despite some very good looks from both sides.
And the defense left mystified, but only for a second. Paco denied the close double, and Davids is still relevant to keep this one alive. They really love these corners right now in this game one. Poncho, nice half flip to keep possession. Paco's already up for it. Another shot. Laced and Foxy with a massive save there. Similar to the first goal that Masacuata scored, but unable to find it this time around. Time continues to tick down. Night Fang for a redirect. That'll hit towards the back wall, and Paco forced to make yet another touch as the defender here for Masacuata Tiesa, crowned so purely by circumstance. But Davica now centering pass, nobody there, a lot of space. Paco will come through, gets a demo. Poncho on the rotation as well, contested though. Masacuata Tiesa still trying to break through this last line of defense. Time ticking down. Poncho up, looking for the waterfall, but denied on the back wall. Davica backs off. Paco can't find it. Challenge goes way into the zone. Masacuata Tiesa, and all of a sudden Lightning has a chance to set up Foxy here, but Poncho blocks. Davica will let this ball hit the ground off the missed redirect. Then we go to OT.
Love the thought, even on 0 seconds, when it feels like overtime is just around the corner, they're still trying to make plays where the ball is inches away from the ground. But overtime we do get to. The defenses prevail here in game one. One apiece, and Seen is going to try and change that, but is stopped early on. Poncho stepping up, 50 in the tank. Needs Paco's help. Drop down, still just testing the waters. Rain's defense holding strong. They haven't made that critical mistake just yet. That'll give Masacuata Tiesa the opening that causes the game one to fall in their favor. And that pass just a bit behind Paco, but it works. A soft shot on target is all it takes sometimes, and that might have been the critical mistake that shapes the series just a little bit.
Indeed, it could have been. Paco just picks that one up. Little awkward position once the pass was sent down initially, but backed up, took aim, and absolutely launched it. First game here for Masacuata, and this is what we really have to start to think about as this series continues on, because I asked myself this question while watching the quarterfinals of Masacuata versus Arise. You know, we know that Masacuata have a very strong transition offense. They generate opportunities very quickly, and they have a lot of individual capability to enter the zone. Arise struck me as one of the squads that has players like Jakey's, like Rodin, even Benji, who can block out those opportunities. They can take an air dribble away from Davica, block away anybody else. They seemed like one of the best people to do it. So now for Rain, their defense, not only does it have to be impeccable on the goal line, they have to shut out the opportunities early, which against Masacuata Tiesa of all teams is a very tall task.
Night Fang did a great job of that in the last game, was getting up there early, going off the ceiling sometimes, and still making that read, because that's risky to challenge that quickly in the air against a team with such aerial prowess like Masacuata, and he did it well. It's risky. But he made the reads, and Rain stayed afloat for a large chunk of that game until overtime, thanks in large part to their goal line defense as well. But they're going to need a bit more on the offensive end, and that's a lot easier talked about than actually performed. But they have to find a way to force Masacuata Tiesa to do a lot more work on their back end, generate harder shots in larger quantity, because putting up 4 against the boys in blue is probably not going to be enough to take this series against them.
Yeah, they certainly did manage to stay afloat there, Rain, but they need a little bit more air in the floats, maybe a bit more helium as well to lift them above, because some turbulent blue waves surely coming their way if they try and stay complacent in this series. Game 2, and early opportunities are going the way of Rain for the time being, but a big clear out looking to change things up as Davica out the corner again. A prominent place for Masacuata Tiesa to be lurking here in this series. Nice touch off the sidewall though, but Foxy can't quite control it to meaningful areas. Many players from Masacuata posted up in that defensive side. Paco now picks up off Davica. We're getting another look at the target here. Paco drives, but the touch initially from the defender enough to dissuade the shot. Stay tied at 0. Tricky situation here, though, for Rain to try and clear the zone.
Don't want to see misses like we just saw Lightning committing in the defensive end. So Masacuata will pounce on that. Though they're still just circling around the midfield line. They'll take a gallivant into the orange box momentarily, but back out to the center line, trying to really generate a big punch. That Rain Esports back line, which is proving difficult to break through, even into game 2 now. 90 seconds in, though. Rushing back, Night Fang behind the play, just a bit too much. Paco will score off of a forced own goal.
Oh, and it's a big clear. You know, there's a little bit of time, but Paco's so fast to that opportunity. Finishes it in the best way possible from that situation. And there's not much else you can do from a defensive standpoint. So,
No.
again, it comes down to all that Reign can do to throw their eggs into the offensive basket without overcommitting. See what solution they come up with for that opportunity. It may just be an absolute launch off of a defensive touch there, but saved aside. Masacuata Tiesa keep their clean sheet for now. They're perfectly willing to post up their own brick wall of defense.
No kidding. They're solid on both sides of the field. Now into the offensive end. Poncho actually taken out by Nightfang. Nice little back check there to disrupt the counterattack play where, well, we talked about Masacuata have a lot of their strengths in the counterattack mode, but so far stifled outside of that one quick hit when Reign overextended. Looking to change that here with some extended offense, though. Foxy out at the center line. Has Poncho and Davica to contest against. Flip reset for Davica. Second touch. Not going to dissuade Lightning's defensive abilities as they get a touch out, but right back to that orange back wall where Reign's having to do a lot of work. They need some clears and extended offense ASAP.
Yeah, we've been here far too much. That's now 7 shots to 2. It feels like every time Reign are able to get a break out of the zone, they look lucky to do so. And then the 1 or 2 shots that they're able to get after are just collateral. Now Lightning breaks out here. Then opportunity driven into the middle very quickly. Poncho was fortunately in the right spot at the right time. But Foxy's got the follow-up. Slow bouncer down low. And it works out. The angle picked right under the bar. Foxy ties us up.
Hard shots. That's what it's taken right now for Reign to stay in this series. They're just putting the ball on net with some serious pace behind it. And Masacuata a little passive there. Paco, instead of challenging immediately off that back wall, looking to stay and defend the shot. And that definitely not the best decision. But actually not going to make up for it. I thought the net was open, but Nightfang emerges from the smoke in the corner and spearheads this counterattack. Puts the ball center, but Paco's there to receive. A little Goomba stomp there by his own teammate. Now a 2v1 the other way. Nightfang shot, it's good! Just underneath the crossbar to make it 2-1.
Perfect capitalization on this opportunity as well, because that 3-on-1 that it looked like Masacuata Tiesa had just it seemed like an opportunity for a surefire goal, and even Nightfang's touch to clear, if it were on target, would have surely hit the back of the net because everybody from the blue side was posted up on the top of the box. So really solid to see that Reign is able to capitalize on an opportunity like that. They threaten off the kickoff as well, and all of a sudden here in Game 2, it feels like they've started to hit a higher gear in this series, which is great to see from them early on, but Davica does not care, ties us up at 2.
The individual prowess of Davica once more making the difference in a game, getting his team right back in it with just an incredible counterattack. The guts to go for a fake right there in a 1v1 when it's so easy just to shoot for that far post as it looks so open, but taking the less obvious route to the net to get Masacuata back level, and with 75 seconds left on the clock, that goal could not have come at a better time.
It's all in the confidence for these players. Big clear. Poncho will deal it aside. We see it from players on every Futures roster, the individual capabilities, the peaks in their gameplay. But I don't think very many in recent memory have been able to do it with such confidence as Davica here. And it truly is an it factor for this Masacuata Tiesa side. But waited to see who becomes that star player. Foxy almost creates some with a demo as well. Big block though, and it's sent immediately the other way. Nightfang will look to corral this ball and maintain possession. Nice peel off for the first, but forced into a challenge with the second high up in the corner now. The clear temporarily comes out. Foxy, nice second touch. Nightfang looking for a redirect. It leads to Foxy 1-2-1, but the crossbar not their friend. 30 seconds to go. Still tied at 2.
Pizza, their fender in the midst of that play. Poncho looming in the corner, actually wins the ball outright, but Lightning steps up from the near post. Looking to contest possession here. They're upfield to find a clear, but Davica, whilst rotating out, still in the middle of things, using their speed to their advantage. Overtime potentially looming for a second straight game. I don't see any 0-second heroics, and Paco going to let this ball fall. It's an extra game with extra time.
Yeah, we see Masacuata Tiesa kill the ball to get to OT as well. Not going to pull anything from that scenario, as everybody was pretty low resource-wise on the goal line, and they're under it early here as Lightning is able to force something of it, but Paco goes up high to the corner. Poncho's lurking for it, but way far out. Tiesa as well is forced to just watch that one go over their head, but Poncho's still relevant. You can see the possession kept and nobody's there, but the post denies it. Tiesa for the follow-up, and Masacuata Tiesa, they win 2 OTs in a row.
That was an awful 24 seconds of rotation for Reign Esports right there. I mean, off kickoff, Foxy left Lightning in net because they were all the way down the field, I think stealing a boost, or they were just out of the play, and that's dangerous against Masacuata, and then everyone started creeping up the field far too early in that overtime, and, well, they get punished. Masacuata, nicely done, 11 shots to their name, but Reign, they got 10 this time around, and that is an improvement from the first game. Yes, they lose this one as well in overtime fashion, but they had a whole lot more offense to show for their efforts in this game, and as long as they're trending up, I mean, you got to start winning games eventually, but against Masacuata, it takes a second to get going.
Exactly. To get the 2 games both to go to overtime, and the fact that they are storming back, it is a good sign here for Reign, and there are things to like about their gameplay, but focusing up on the 2 overtimes specifically, they were quick finishes. You said it right there. It was almost a nightmarish 24 seconds for Reign in terms of their rotations, and I think they kind of got a little glimmer of hope off of the opportunity. Lightning had a good early touch towards the sidewall at midfield. They started to think, you know, maybe we can snowball this, and Masacuata, the kings of the snowball in terms of offensive pressure, just kind of pushed it right back at them just as fast. So it really comes down to Reign finding their footing in the offensive zone and not being content with getting 1 or 2 opportunities every offensive push. They've got to find more. They've got to stick with it, and almost equally importantly, I'd say, keep Masacuata Tiesa out of the scoring area, because my goodness, do they know what to do once they get there.
Don't let Masacuata Tiesa score. I mean, that's what I would be telling my team right now if I were the Reign coach, because that team can score. The kings of snowballing, they've got the ice in overtime. There is not much to do against them, but Reign have kept it close. And it's due in large part to those quick hits in counterattack mode, like right here, though. Poncho gonna break that one up off the back wall and find Paco down the field. Knifeng has some thinking to do as Paco's waiting on a touch towards their Octane. But Lightning gets back in time to find a clearance, and Reign going to get out. No extended offense just yet for Masacuata.
And Reign are trying so hard to break up these plays. You've got people, Paco and Poncho, playing very close to each other on the offensive end, and it seems almost unrelenting, but the fact that they're not being contested for it early enough, again, speaks to Reign needing to play up on this ball, force those challenges up high. Poncho goes very far up towards the back wall, and is dealt with for the time being by the defense, but Knifeng gets the ball picked off the top of the car. Tiesa can't find more, no boost, but Paco comes through, and Poncho is raring at the ready now in the middle of the field. Who other than Tiesa to punch it home? I mean, you got to be looking every which way if you're a defender, except for the right one.
Knifeng needed to be looking at the ball a bit more there. It's a misread off the back wall that's going to get punished about 100% of the time, especially with Tiesa flying in. I mean, they are going to make the read regardless of whether or not you hit it. It's just a matter of whether the ball's there or not. So, Masacuata, early goal here, and Reign really need to regain quickly. And they have, when they've gone down in this series thus far. This is a real opportunity here. 50 low. Paco is back in time to block it, but almost found a quick equalizer again, but down 3 games in a best of 7. Not where you want to be if you're Reign.
Oof, trying to get that low flip reset. Paco can't quite bring it through, and Tiesa now goes out through the corner. Paco again, these rotations just absolutely relentless, and that's the tough thing about this matchup, right? Is Reign wants to get in and they want to get back in as quickly as possible. It started with this one, but Poncho lobs it up high and away from danger for the time being, but every single time Reign wants to get in quickly, they're almost playing right into the pockets of Masacuata Tiesa, which is exactly where they want them. So you've got to find that way to cut through the defense. It's not enough just to keep launching it at them, because if anybody's going to try and control the pace of this game and of this series, given the position that they're in, it's the side in blue.
That's a good point. We'll see if Reign decide to act on that point and slow things down a bit, though. This is a fast counterattack, and Knifeng makes the most of it. Beautiful flick past the last defender from Masacuata, and Reign are back level.
Beautiful awareness there from Nightfang. He said the last defender, but Nightfang picked that ball up at the middle of the field. The fact that there's only one back there is as massive of a green light as you could paint for Rain in that situation. So the fact that the finish is quick is a really good sign from this squad that they still have it in them. They're still kicking. We know that both games have gone to overtime thus far, and Rain knows that too. They know they can keep it close and be decisive about these wins. They've just got to show it.
That is a bomb down the field. Paco towards the net, forcing a difficult touch out of Nightfang. Been pounced upon by Masacuata. Had there not been an orange car immediately there. Speaking of, Nightfang there on the near post finds a second touch as well. Stuck with it. Used a lot of boost though, and now they got to contest Paco here in the midfield. Though they do nicely. Helps a little bit by Lightning's back check. And demo there at the center line. 90 seconds left in this third game. Rain hanging on here. Good save by Lightning, but I'm sure their fans would love to see them playing a bit more offense right now than this hairline defense they've been stuck playing throughout this series.
And I know we memed about it before this game started about don't let Masacuata Tiesa score, but I'll do you one better. Don't let Tiesa get the ball at the sidewall, because every single time I've seen them work the ball in towards the middle, like that was a pure outpace there based off nothing but boosts just flying through nearly level with the ground. So as this continues on, and that initiation, oh, Poncho again launching one. The defenders caught with their wheels down, and Masacuata Tiesa on top.
Just don't let them have space. I mean, there wasn't a whole lot of space to make that play happen. Poncho delayed their flip perfectly, and the defense was not ready for a shot from that position. That's absolutely beautiful out of Masacuata. Now Rain once again playing from behind, where they're no strangers to being, but under a minute to play in a game like this, in a series like this is not where you want to be.
Massive 40 seconds upcoming here for Rain, but they've got to get out of their zone. Massive save there for Nightfang. Follow-up from Tiesa is a double, and it sets up Paco to go to the crossbar. Poncho's across. They can't find it, and this could be a stroke of good luck here for Rain, but they've still got to get the clear as Lightning now is up high, sent to the side wall, out through the center, and Nightfang forced into a challenge with Paco, but there's Poncho ready and waiting time and time again. Masacuata Tiesa blocked this ball from leaving, and Poncho, oh my word, bounces all the way around the woodwork, and Tiesa finishes to ensure it.
I thought he had that read at first, and I mean, he almost did. It bounced off the corner, should have gone in, and I'm glad at least that Poncho will get an assist credit for that after Tiesa finished it, but 12 seconds left. I'm thinking we're going to see Masacuata 3-0 up in this series, and if you're Rain, you are at the very bottom of the pit right now, and whether it be a rope, a ladder, whatever, you need something to help you climb out, and I'm just not sure it's down there.
I am starting to think the same thing. This is the first game we get that doesn't go to OT. It's still close towards the end, but it does feel like Masacuata have found that step higher in this series. And for Rain, on the other side of things, you know, that final minute, that's where you want to see the life in them to keep Masacuata off of their backs, out of the offensive zone, but it just wasn't coming through. Every single time they got to the midfield, Poncho made a 180 turn to completely block anything that could have come through. Paco as well, Tiesa, they've all got so many offensive weapons in their arsenal that Rain, they can't leave it to the last minute. They've got to have the lead going in, and that's just what it's going to take a game in this series, let alone 4 in a row.
Right. Right now it feels like Rain is not playing bad whatsoever. They are making the occasional mistake, but all teams at this level do. Masacuata is just playing a better series than they are at the moment. That's why it's been close, but Masacuata is still coming out on top. And Rain, you're right. They just have to have the lead. They have to somehow scrap out a couple of goals and put Masacuata behind earlier on in the game than they have been previously. That's a difficult ask of this team at the moment. Someone's got to step up and make a play, and we'll see who it is, because this is their last chance. They are on tournament point. Win this game or win this game or go out. They got to stay alive here in game 4.
And tournament point in this series, briefly to update you as well, tournament point in the other series, the other semifinal going on, but for both teams, Empire Black and Red Crown Academy have taken it all the way to Champions Field. So that is your other semifinal. The winner of that going up against the winner of this series in Grands. So we'll have to see what comes of that one. Surely an entertaining affair between those two. And we have been entertained by this series as well, but I'm sure Rain is looking for a bit more in this game and in this series. It starts on Utopia Coliseum, but every single time, again, they enter the zone, it's immediately gone. Divitina back to the usual. Divitina El Rey de Corazones. That was a horrible butchering of that name, but regardless, they're back to their same old quick clears here, not letting Rain see the light of day.
Lightning up into the air. Dominus bright as ever, but we'll find nothing. Shut down by Poncho, though. A lot of space given in the midfield there. And closed quickly by Divicina, but Paco on the reception of that attempted shot. Nightfang going to turn on this one, but nothing found. Again, so close, yet so far it feels for Rain. Now Poncho allowed a chance to pass it off the back wall, but not enough pace behind the rock there. 90 seconds in. No scores, but it still feels like Masacuata with a big claim to control in this series, with Paco moving in for an attempted shot, Poncho faking everyone out, and Divicina right behind the play to keep it in possession.
Yeah, the fact that Divicina can still rock up to that play and manage to get a touch, even with Poncho beat so clearly over the top, is just icing on the cake here. They've got so much presence in the offensive zone. They don't even necessarily have the shot total to rival right now. They've only put one on thus far in the opening 2 minutes. And now as we go back the other way, Lightning, good opportunity to get a challenge. Foxy goes up for the follow, but what a block. Divicina has no right to know exactly what angle that's coming in and still finds it perfectly. Big pop here now. Another block out. Poncho has gotten a demo to thin out the defensive numbers. That could have opened things up, but Nightfang has precedence over the ball. Going back, quick touch. Nightfang has had that shot multiple times, and there's the finish off the miss. Lightning gets us started.
That's another one of those that I wish had just gone in at the very get-go, but Nightfang just a little bit short. Glad the posts obliged to help out Rain Esports just a little bit right there. Good finish by Lightning, just being in the area. So they've got themselves a lead. Rain Esports Black do. They have to hold on to it for dear life. And speaking of, real quick, an update for the other stream. 2-0, Red Crown Academy up in Game 7.
Yeah, absolutely. As Rain continue on, they've got a little bit of hope. Perhaps more interestingly, Nightfang has a spot in the net. We've seen a lot of shots head towards that right side, pushing in. But now Paco goes up with this one. Good control, plenty of boost right out of the bar. Bar down, takes a couple bounces, but it's in regardless and tied up. Paco does it.
That was so graceful out of Paco. I mean, everything about that play. They had space because of a little bit of bunching up by Rain Esports at the center line, but the carry, the extra touch at the end to get it past the last man, and then the bar down and in shot, that, wow. Masacuata is something else in this league. But Rain Esports, something else for keeping up with them. 2-1 now. It's like that Paco dribble never happened.
Beautiful, quick response. It's Nightfang to score again, and everybody's stuck up in that near post, unable to see the clear, and 5 players, 2 to the better there for Rain to send the goal home. It's Nightfang 1 for 3 in terms of goals for shots. Paco now trying to make it 2 for 2, but the initial touch goes wide, and nobody's really there to pick it up in time. So losing a little bit of pace on this play, still hoping for the control. It's Masacuata Tiesa. Paco comes over around on it now, off the sidewall very quickly. Boost enough to get it centered, but right into a pool of Rain defenders. Poncho touches back. It's over towards Divicina, but over the top goes Lightning. Nice challenge. Rain giving themselves a little bit of space to work with and blocking out the shooters as they come in. Looking really solid here as they hope to defend their 1-goal lead.
I think it's some space. Never mind. Defeats is right there. I shouldn't have said that knowing that Divicina was in the area. Space is never given when that's the case. But Nightfang is allowed a little bit of time to chase the ball into the corner. Chase Divicina into the net. Trying to find a little revenge, I think, for that last play. Dying out at the center line, though. 60 seconds left. Rain still leading and applying pressure while they're at it. This is not the same team that was penned back for so much of the first several games, but Masacuata doesn't need to pen you back to score on you. All they need is a good look at the back wall. That's what Tiesa got.
Yeah, we start to get to this very prevalent idea in the Futures League where, for as fantastic as these players are, they've got to watch the mistakes that they make, because so many of them can turn out to be so crucial and detrimental to their cause, because we know what all these players are capable of individually and team-wise from a pop-off standpoint, but it's just as equally important how much ground they lose through the mistakes that are made. This one goes to the crossbar and not capitalized on fully there. Lightning goes wide to the corner. So we stay tied with about 30 to go. 2-2 all square. Could be headed to our third overtime.
Foxy was trying to get mechanical there with a flip reset, but shut down. We've seen an extra little touch, but Night Fang reads it this time around. Paco's to Poncho, sorry. Let me reverse that. It was Poncho to Paco, but doesn't end up working out. Defense holds. In transition, Lightning allowed a shot. Paco allowed a clear. Foxy is up to put it high into the sky and deep into the blue end, but DBCina has boost, has time, has space. Doesn't have control, though. Gives it to Paco, however, and takes the lead with 2 seconds left. Masacuata just will not go away.
Sneaking under the action, and Lightning gets caught staring at the sky. Paco launches it, nobody else is home, and Masacuata Tiesa now with a chance to close out the semifinal in a sweep with 2 seconds to play. Night Fang for the kickoff. It's on the ground initially and towards the near post. It's popped up ever so slightly, and now Lightning's kept it alive in the corner. It's going the wrong way. Sent back. Is anybody underneath to take the shot? No! Racing for it is Night Fang. Doesn't get there in time. Masacuata Tiesa have swept their semifinal, and they will face Red Crown Academy.